At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the Philadelphia Phillies. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Bank of America. Life's better when we're connected. By Geico, over 75 years of savings and service. By Cadillac, visit tristatecadillac.com for exceptional offers. By StubHub, looking for great seats, head to StubHub, the official ticket marketplace of the New York Mets. And by the State Farm agent of the game, Steve Boyle of Connecticut. Contact Steve at agentsteveboyle.com. And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. I'm Gary Cohen. Keith Hernandez joins me in just a moment as the Mets go for a sweep of their three-game series against the Phillies. The Mets offense has been in high gear over the last dozen games, and no more so than in this series. Mets got off to a rollicking start on Friday night, doing something they'd only done once before, hitting back-to-back home runs to open a game when Jose Reyes and Asdrubal Cabrera accomplished the feat. Bartolo Colon was on his game, 7 strong innings before he tired in the 8th, and then Wilmer Flores added a grand slam, and the Mets were in party mode as they beat the Phillies in the opening game of the series 9-4. Then last night, the Mets did some more hitting. Again, it was Cabrera who hit 2 home runs Friday night, 1 more for good measure last night to give the Mets a 2-1 lead. Yoenis Cespedes with a big blow, a 3-run shot down the line into the Porsche Grill. Noah Syndergaard, for a second straight start, was at the top of his game. 7 innings, only 2 hits allowed. He had a double as well. And then Kelly Johnson added the cherry on top of the sundae with a pinch hit grand slam. And the Mets drove to a 12-1 victory. Mets have scored 9 or more runs each of the last 3 games now. It's really been a high-powered offense. But today the Mets will be without 2 of their biggest bats. Yoenis Cespedes and Neil Walker both out of the lineup with lingering injuries. Cespedes to his quad and Walker to his back.
Well, there are 2 big bats in the lineup, and the Mets have had their share of injuries, and it's no surprise that they started scoring when they got all these people back, Cespedes included and Walker, who had a little back issue, but Walker was pretty much there most of the year. From a team standpoint, when you lose your big bats, particularly Cespedes, who's so important in this lineup, it can be a little demoralizing. But as a team, you got to pick it up. Cabrera's been red hot. Jose Reyes has been red hot. They've been sparking this ball club. I think the guy that's got to get going here now is Jay Bruce. He's in the lineup today in right field.
And there's a lot of pressure on the offense to keep it rolling because the Mets are rolling out a lot of inexperienced starting pitching over the next few days, starting with Robert Gsellman, who makes his first major league start this afternoon.
Well, he broke into the big leagues in St. Louis when Nice had to leave the game with the knee injury. Went 3 2/3 of shutout ball. Got the win for the Mets. This is his first start. He was 4-9 in Las Vegas, but if you look at his numbers, his ERA was 3.99. Only gave up 10 home runs in a home run friendly atmosphere in Las Vegas in 115 innings. Sinker slider pitcher, puts the ball in play.
Vince Velasquez started out his season with a dynamic performance here at Citi Field, but he's struggled lately.
He has had a terrible August. His ERA almost 9 in his 4 starts, 0-3 in August, and in his last 3 starts he has given up 8 home runs. So it's been a tough month for Vince.
So the Mets will try and keep the home run barrage going. They've hit 4 home runs, including a grand slam each of the last 2 nights. Mets go for the sweep of the Phillies. Coming up on SNY. York 811. Be sure to call 811 before you start any digging project, big or small. Make the 811 call. By the Acura Summer of Performance event. And by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, dedicated to advancing cancer research, treatment, and care. More science, less fear. Get to Citi Field for Free Shirt Friday, September 2nd, when the Mets take on the Nationals at 7:10. All fans in attendance will receive a Lucas Duda t-shirt, courtesy of Toyota. For tickets, visit Mets.com/Free Shirt Fridays. Robert Gsellman. His first Citi Field appearance, his first major league start. His first pitch coming right up.
Big hair.
Robert Gsellman, the Los Angeles native, getting ready for his first big league start after 3 2/3 scoreless innings against the Cardinals in long relief on Tuesday night in St. Louis.
13th round draft pick, Gare. 6'4", 200-pounder from Southern California.
Pretty good basketball player back in his high school days. There's the Phillies starting lineup. The Phillies debut for the veteran catcher A.J. Ellis, who came over in the trade for Carlos Ruiz earlier this week. Tommy Joseph makes his first start of the series after Ryan Howard started the first 2 games at first base. And there is young Mr. Gsellman.
And there's your Land Rover numbers for Mr. Gsellman. And you can see they're sparse. 3 2/3 of excellent pitching in that first game in St. Louis. It was a very important series on the road. He came in for his first debut. To pitch like he did and pick up the win. Outstanding. And now it is your Lexus Metropolitan defense, folks. I know you've been looking forward to this. Diaz in center field. Curtis out in left. That's his 6th start in left. Jose Reyes been really flashing the leather as Drupal Cabrera on the left side of that infield, and Darno back in the lineup. Here, take it away.
Thanks very much, Keith. Gsellman, 23 years old. His first pitch to Cesar Hernandez is bunted foul, and we're underway. Hernandez 1 for 7 in the series. hitting a .293 for the year, .355 on base percentage. He's had a very nice year, especially the second half for Philadelphia.
Well, unlike the team, the Phillies offense.
And that's ripped into right field, and Hernandez has a leadoff hit. So Hernandez's second hit of the series, and the Phillies have the first man on against Gsellman, who gave up a hit on the first pitch he threw in the major leagues to Yadier Molina on Tuesday night, and then settled in from there.
That was the opposite field double in the gap that scored a couple runs, I believe, and he did settle down.
Odubel Herrera hitting second in the order, 3 for 8 in the series, hitting a .283 on the year after his first All-Star performance this summer.
He kind of misplayed a ball off the bat of Diaz last night. He played it into a double. Got a little shy of the wall.
And he drops down a bunt. Reyes on the charge. The bare hand pickup. Tough play for Loney. He hangs on, stays on the base as Herrera goes tripping over him. And the Mets get the first out of the day in spectacular fashion. And Loney comes up limping.
Well, he got trampled here. And I can tell you, as a first baseman, folks, this is very scary. As you try to shift out of the balls out in the foul line, and you got the runner in the way, and this is what you're worried about, getting stepped on. It's fortunate he wasn't stepped on.
Like he got kicked in the calf, and he's trying to walk it off.
So this is what we're talking about. Reyes in a new position. Why teams haven't been testing him more with drag bunts down the third base line. Nice play by James. That ball could have wound up down the right field line.
They do credit a sacrifice for Herrera. So Hernandez at second with 1 out. And now Maikel Franco. Franco 1 for 8 in the series. 22 home runs, leading the Phillies. But the Mets have held him in check, not just in this series, but all year. He's hitting just .170 against Met pitching, and he bluffs a bunt. So each of the first 3 hitters showing bunts.
Well, Reyes, look where he's playing over there at third base, and playing. We've seen Jose play very deep, and I have to believe it's because Jose feels, as a shortstop, he wants to get as deep as more comfortable, more time to read the ball, the ground ball.
Popped up. Loney, who's still been flexing his left leg between pitches, comes into foul ground to make the grab for the second out. So Gsellman gets Franco on the foul pop-up, 2 away, and now Tommy Joseph will come to bat. And Loney looks like he's okay. It looks like he's got a little gimp there after taking that hit from Herrera.
And another thing too, Jose fielded that barehanded nicely. Just the throw was inside the line. But remember, that's all new territory for Jose. Picked up by his teammate, Mr. Loney.
So here's Tommy Joseph, who was called up in mid-May by the Phillies and has played most of the first base. Got off to a really hot start. 17 home runs and just 242 at bats. So he's got some legit power.
11 doubles, 17 home runs, only 34 RBIs, Gary.
He's hitting .164 with runners in scoring position, so that would account for that. As Gsellman ties him up inside, and he stopped the swing.
Well, you see the sinker from Gsellman, and that's, you know, there's so many guys that are talent evaluators today. They think everybody's got to throw the ball 98 miles an hour, throw it through a brick wall. If you have movement on your pitches, particularly your fastball, you do not have to be an overpowering pitcher. It's much like Seth Lugo.
And the sinker fouled off, and it's 1-2. Gsellman started out the year in Double-A, was very successful. 11 starts at Binghamton. He had a 2.71 ERA, but then he went to Las Vegas, and even though he continued to generate ground balls, it's not quite as friendly an environment. He pitched to a 5.73 ERA in Vegas. 1-2 coming. And he misses off the plate with a slider. 2-2.
Just missed. Good try. 1-2 pitch ahead in the count. Fish just didn't bite. Good eye by Joseph.
That's with a full shift on against Joseph. 3 infielders on the left side.
And ironically, we see it a lot, the outfield, he's looking at center field and right field, playing him the opposite field. Two from Gsellman, and it's bounced foul. likes to run that hard sinker in on the hands of hitters, and that is a good recipe. If you've got a good sinker, that is a good weapon to have against right-hand hitters if you're a right-hand pitcher.
Aaron Alter hitting 5th in the order would be next. Hernandez after a leadoff hit on second with 2 out. Gsellman trying to get himself a clean first inning. 2-2 to Joseph. Ties him up again. And again he stops the swing, and it's 3-2. So Gsellman keeping that ball consistently in on Joseph. Joseph, not a guy who draws a lot of walks. 242 official at bats, only 15 walks. Three-two coming, and he struck him out on the fastball away. Side retired. So Gsellman, after a leadoff hit, negotiates his way through the first. Loney takes a hit and stays standing. Mets come to bat with no score. Cespedes and Walker out. The Mets' 2 struggling hitters, Bruce and Granderson, hit 4 and 5, and Kelly Johnson goes in the 3-hole for the first time this year. Jose Reyes leads off. He's had a great series, 5 for 9 in the first 2 games.
And there's your Toyota numbers for Vince Velasquez, another Southern Californian. Been a tough month for him. We were impressed with his fastball and curve. There's a changeup right there, but what we understand is that he may have hit a wall. He's lost his fastball's fairly straight, and he's lost a little zip on it, and the 8 home runs in his last 3 starts are alarming.
It was a 10.47 ERA in those 3 starts, lost all 3. He's behind on Reyes leading off, and there's his first strike. Velasquez started out his year in dynamic fashion. His first start was here in New York. In the Mets' first series at home this season, he went 6 scoreless innings, struck out 9, won a 1-0 game. And then his next start, he faced the Padres. He threw a complete game 3 hitter, walked none, struck out 16. So that's how his year began, with 15 scoreless innings and 25 strikeouts in his first 2 starts.
World beater.
There's a strike 3-2 to Reyes. Now he's settled in. He'd had, you know, some ups and downs. He had some biceps problems that put him on the DL in June for a while, but he's really hit the skids lately.
Yeah, he missed 17 days in June with the bicep strain.
Pulled on the ground to Hernandez, and he throws out Reyes, 1 away.
And we will not be remiss and skip the Coors Light Philly defense. Here it is for you. Jimmy Paredes out in left field again. Second straight start. Tommy Joseph gets the start at first base, as Gary mentioned earlier. And your first start of the year for A.J. Ellis, who's recently acquired for Chooch. Mr. Ruiz, swap with the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Here's Asdrubal Cabrera, who's just been tearing it up. 3 home runs in the first 2 games of this series. And he takes the curveball up and away. 8 games now for Cabrera since coming off the disabled list. And in the 8 games, he's hitting .438 with 9 RBIs.
And a few home runs, too.
And he drops down a bunt. It's a beauty. Velasquez with the bare hand play, and he throws it away. And Cabrera got hit in the back by Joseph, and he is shaken up. Joseph reaching for that ball. Whacked Cabrera, and he's holding that left arm, and Ray Ramirez out immediately to see if Asdrubal's okay.
Goodness gracious.
Hand, wrist.
Possibly a forearm. Could be a wrist. I think he's going to be all right.
Well,
wrist. Looks like a wrist. He's bending that wrist back. We'll see. No, they got it in the forearm, Gary. Let's see. Ulna.
Looked like Velasquez had a chance to get him with a good throw, but he sailed it.
Oh, he just got jammed there.
Right into the midsection of Joseph with that wrist and forearm. So we've had a couple of dangerous plays at first base. With Herrera going over Loney, who had to reach for a throw, and now Cabrera getting his left wrist jammed, but he does appear to be all right. They'll score that a bunt hit for Cabrera, so he is now 6 for 9 in this series. And here's Kelly Johnson, who had the pinch hit grand slam last night. Gets the start at second base today with Walker out of the lineup, hitting 3rd in the order. First time this year Kelly's hit 3rd.
119 innings pitched on the season for Velasquez, 137 strikeouts, but he's given up 119 hits. Of the 22 starts, Gary, he's had 20 with 6 innings or less, and 10 of those starts he was taken out after 6 innings. So again, we're seeing this 6 innings and pulling starting pitchers. Now he's running out of gas. Sometimes I wonder about that.
What does it tell you?
It just they're not conditioned. I just think I don't know. I'm not an expert on pitching, but I think they don't throw enough, and I'm in that camp.
He's behind on Johnson 2-0 with Jay Bruce on deck, and Kelly nubs changeup foul 2-1. Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. In the last 12 games, Mets averaging 6.3 runs per game, hitting .308 as a team.
Just incredible how they continue to produce runs via the home run, Gary. Last night, 10 of the 12 runs via the home run.
That's it for the royal flush of home runs last night. Solo, 2-run, 3-run grand slam.
Could you call it a golden sombrero?
No, that's a bad thing.
Oh, okay.
This is a good thing. The Phillies note said today that the last time the Phillies gave up a cycle of home runs was in 1979. In a 23-22 game at Wrigley Field.
Wrigley Field. That's where Mike Schmidt, I think, had a big day. I remember that game.
So they gave up the cycle of home runs, and they won the game. The Phillies, 23-22.
Mike Schmidt, I could be wrong. I think had a big day that day in that game.
They hit 5 home runs that day. The Cubs hit 6. 3-2 coming, and Johnson yanks one into right field for a base hit. Cabrera pulls in at second base. Cabrera's limping as he goes to second, so it may not just be his wrist. It looked like he was having a little trouble with his giddy up, and Ray Ramirez is going to come out and have a look. So is Terry Collins. They saw what I saw. He is not running well, and remember, he's had knee problems. That's what placed him on the disabled list. It was the same problem that he had back in spring training that cost him 3 weeks, and he's coming out of the game.
Reyes to shortstop, I would assume, Garrett.
This really hurts the Mets if Cabrera He is out for any appreciable length of time. His bat has been so hot since coming back from the DL.
Did Angel Hernandez, the second base umpire, just pat Cabrera on the fanny on the way out? That's, come on, you're an umpire, a teammate.
Well, remember the Mets are already a little short today with Walker having more back stiffness and Cespedes out with the quad. So Wilmer Flores is going to come into the game.
And you got to hope it's not the knee that was injured that put Cabrera on the DL in that collision. There's a re-injury there. Let's hope not. I guess Flores will go to the third base.
Or they could move Johnson to third and play Flores at second. Either way.
Right. I would assume they're going to. I think Kelly Johnson's more of a second baseman.
Although he had his problems in that series in St. Louis, and they played him the other way the last time they played together.
Oh, here comes Wilmer.
So Flores runs for Cabrera, and we'll get a report on Asdrubal as soon as we can. And Jay Bruce will come to the plate with 2 men on, a chance to get the Mets an early lead. Bruce had the day off yesterday after having the golden sombrero befall him on Friday night. 4 at bats, 4 strikeouts. 22 games as a Met. Jay's hitting just 160. And the Mets waiting patiently, or maybe less patiently, for him to break out. He's leading the National League in RBIs at the time of the trade from Cincinnati. Taken outside, ball 1.
He's just got to go up the middle hip to see the difference in the numbers since coming here.
Just 3 for 17 with runners in scoring position as a Met. Flores at second, Johnson at first with 1 out. And Bruce able to lay off the pitch away, and that's something he's not been able to do. He's been swinging at pitches off the plate outside. It's not particularly a patient hitter anyway. That's not a big part of his game. So Velasquez has been behind 2-0 on 3 of his first 4 hitters. Well, what a painful start to this game. Walker and Cespedes out of the lineup because of recurring injury problems. Loney gets run over, but able to stay in the game, and then Cabrera involved in a first place collision and has to leave the game. I mean, it's almost been an epidemic this season. Every day. Bruce fouls one down the left side. It's 2-2.
So he's off the end of the bat and everything away. He just needs to keep that shoulder in, and I know he's pressing, and he knows what's wrong. He knows his swing. We're talking about Jay Bruce here, of course, and he knows he's out in front, and you try like the Dickens to keep that shoulder in and go up the middle, and it's just, it takes its own sweet time. It's a very painful thing to go through. Frustrating, not painful.
Maybe painful to your core.
Well, we're grown men here. It's frustrating. It ticks you off because you know you're better than that. So he reached for that strike too on the outside corner, Gary. He's reaching for that outside corner, and that's all about when you slump, you get out in front.
Curtis Granderson standing on deck. 2-2 to Bruce. They keep it away, and he fouls that off. 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Well, I'd love to see him get one here. And I'm being impartial. I just have empathy here.
It's because you have a soul and you care. Seventh pitch of the at bat coming to Bruce. And that's low. Doing a changeup on 2-2. And the count full.
Third pitch. Instead of his curveball, he wanted to throw a secondary pitch. He's got a really nice breaking ball.
Fourth batter for Velasquez, already his third full count. Flores the pinch runner at second. Johnson at first with 1 out. 3-2 to Bruce with Granderson on deck. Flores is going nowhere.
I don't think so.
Not with Bruce at the plate, who has the propensity for striking out. Now the 3-2, and it's pulled on the ground through the hole, base hit. Flores to third. He's going to be held there, and the Mets have the bases loaded. So Jay Bruce finds a hole on the 8th pitch of the at-bat. And now the Mets with 3 straight hits have the bases loaded and 1 out.
Another changeup in a good spot. Stays back. And that's a good one to start your day for Jay Bruce. It's going to take something in the gap or down the line to get Wilmer to score from second base.
Walter has a good arm in right field. Well, it might interest you to know, with Wilmer Flores having hit a grand slam Friday night and Kelly Johnson last night, that since 1900 no National League team has had a grand slam in 3 straight games.
Since when?
Since 1900.
Wow. Dead ball era.
And Granderson bats with the bases loaded. The last American League team to do it, the White Sox in 2006. Scott Besednik, Joe Creedy, and Tad Iguchi.
Very good, Dave.
Granderson trying to fight out of his own difficulties. 0 for 5 in this series. And again, Velasquez falls behind 2-0.
Well, you just keep throwing that changeup, and you're pitching 2-0. You're asking for a little woodshed whipping.
Flores at third, running for Cabrera. Johnson at second. Bruce at first with 1 out. Alejandro De Azu has been swinging a hot bat, waiting on deck.
God, you got to come in here with something to hit. Come on.
Granderson 0 for his last 20 with runners in scoring position, and he gets this in the air to center field. Shading his eyes is Herrera, and he stays with it for the out, tagging at third Flores. Everybody else holds. Sacrifice fly for Granderson gives the Mets a 1-0 lead.
And no one backing up third base. Velasquez. That's a Ronnie Darling pet peeve, and
so Granderson gets a run in, his 35th run batted into the season.
you can see the sun now. We always get towards the latter part of the season, and that sun gets very difficult. That's a rainbow coming in.
So 3 straight hits, a sacrifice fly, a run is home. Now De Aza, who has 7 RBIs in his last 2 starts, 2-run double in the game last night. Johnson at second, Bruce at first with 2 down. And De Aza tries to lay off the curveball. And he went around, 0-1.
De Aza way in front of the plate and close to the inside corner, standing on top of the plate up front. You very rarely see that.
Been a hard-working inning for Velasquez. He's already thrown 26 pitches. 2 on and 2 out. And De Aza lines one to right, but Altair is there to grab it, and that retires the side. So the Mets lose Cabrera to an injury, but played a run, and they lead 1-0 after 1. T-Mobile. You see the inexperience that the Mets are sending to the mound these next 3 days. Gsellman today, Rafael Montero coming up from Double-A tomorrow. Seth Lugo will make his 3rd start on Tuesday. And then hopefully Steven Matz will start Wednesday. Jose Reyes moves over to shortstop, and Wilmer Flores stays in at 3rd with Cabrera out of the game. We'll get a report as soon as we can. Aaron Altair leading off in the 2nd.
Yes, we're very much looking forward to hearing what this, I don't want to say the severity or just what the injury is to Cabrera. I'm sure your folks are very interested at home as much as we are up here.
Altair 1 for 8 in this series. Gsellman worked around a leadoff hit in the 1st inning. Now he has a 1-0 lead to work with, and Altair pounds that sinker into the ground. Still 1-2. Mentioned Matz. Matz threw a bullpen session today, preparatory to coming off the disabled list. And the Mets had said if it went well that he'd get slotted in Wednesday night. Out to center field, and Diaz is right there waiting for it, using his glove as a sun shield, and he makes the catch 1 away.
Beautiful day for baseball.
But I guess the bottom line on all that pitching information is that there's a lot of uncertainty for the Mets in terms of their rotation right now, and that it means that the offense that has been so locked in over the last week really needs to continue if the Mets are going to continue this winning stretch that they're on.
Well, as the Mets nice curveball, the Gsellman is very similar to Seth Lugo. They are pitchers that pitch to contact, and I hope everybody's watching. You can get people out. He's got a nice curveball, and he got a good sinker and a good changeup.
Jimmy Paredes the batter, and that curveball goes to the backstop. And Gsellman and Lugo are also similar in that both did not have good numbers in AAA.
Right.
And again, that's an environment at Vegas, very hard field and thin air, that does not lend itself to a pitcher who pitches to contact. Probably rewards a strikeout pitcher better because of the conditions.
Now take a look at Robert's motion. Big long-legged guy, tall, slender, 6'4" frame.
1-2 coming, and a check swing. Paredes stopped it. 2-2. It is somewhat interesting that Gsellman makes his first major league start against the Phillies, because his dad, Bob Gsellman, spent 4 years as a catcher in the Phillies organization back in the 1980s. Never got above Single-A, but here's Robert pitching against his dad's old organization for his first big league start. By the way, they're the only 2 Gsellmans in professional baseball history.
Oh, look out.
Paredes loses the bat, which goes 10 rows behind the dugout as he strikes out for the 2nd out.
Wow.
There's a souvenir that you didn't expect. That may win the baseball hammer throw for the year.
Is
how far this goes.
Serious. Oh, he lost his thumb guard too.
That didn't go quite as far.
Lost everything but his hands.
It's those darn batting gloves, Keith.
Yep. That's right.
So that's the 2nd strikeout for Gsellman. And now A.J. Ellis is first at bat as a Philly. Ellis was devastated when he heard about the trade coming from the Dodgers, which is the only organization he had ever played for, to the Phillies, going from 1st place to 4th place.
I can relate.
35 years old. He had been Clayton Kershaw's personal catcher in Los Angeles. And he strikes out on 3 pitches in his first at bat as a Philly. 1-2-3 inning for Gsellman after getting the lead. So Gsellman off to a good start. Mets up 1-0 in the 2nd. second. The Mets with a 1-0 lead. James Loney will lead off against Vince Velasquez. Well, Loney survived his collision at first base, stayed in the game, and he leads off in the second. As Drupal Cabrera left the game in the first inning, and we've just been told it is the same knee that is bothering Cabrera. They're calling it a sore left knee.
No.
Cost him 3 weeks on the disabled list. Just got back a week and a half ago.
Ice, 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 ice.
Loney yanks one into right field for a base hit. Didn't get a lot of it, but found the grass for the Mets' 4th hit through the first 7 batters against Vince Velasquez.
Tries to come in with the fastball, and Loney is up to the task. Got jammed a little bit, but got the barrel out enough to muscle it into right field, Gary.
First hit in the series for Loney. And now Travis d'Arnaud, who started the Friday night game, went 1 for 3 with a double and an RBI. But what is common to all these injuries that the Mets are dealing with right now, Cespedes, Walker, Cabrera, these are all recurring injuries now.
Yes.
I mean, you've got Cespedes, who first hurt that quad a month and a half ago and is still having to nurse it. You've got Walker, who has recurring back issues that have cropped up again, and now you have Cabrera, who now has to come out of a game for the 3rd time this year with the same knee issue.
Well, it's the same thing for you folks out there, that if you get a bruise, say playing in the backyard, and it heals, it's almost healed, and then you bump it again. It's the same thing, and it's the knee. You don't want to have any physical trauma contact injury when you're trying to heal it, and it's getting healed. And Cespedes with the quad, those pulls are always aggravating, and they linger, and you can hold out and you can play with them, but boy, if you have to exert a quick burst, it's hard to pull the reins on them.
So I guess the question then becomes, even if it's just a one-day affair for Cespedes or Walker or Cabrera, how much do the Mets need to nurse these guys through the last 30+ games of the season when they're in a pennant race? And they need every one of them. Grounded near the bag, Hernandez boots it, and everybody's safe. Looked like an easy double play for Hernandez. All he had to do was catch it, step on the bag, and throw. But he did none of those things. And on the air, the Mets have 2 men on.
Hit the bag? Oh, he just clanked it. Boy, the Phillies have just looked terrible.
Just didn't reach down far enough for him. That is the first error for the Phillies in their last 10 games. So now Gsellman can go up there and sacrifice. He had a sacrifice in his major league debut in St. Louis. Loney at second, d'Arnaud at first, and nobody out. Joseph comes charging hard, and Gsellman takes a strike.
Well, Joseph playing real aggressive at first base, and he's a big guy, not very agile, but he has no responsibility with that runner there, so you can apply the pressure to the pitcher bunting.
Joseph started his career as a catcher. He had the transition to first base a couple of years ago. And Gsellman gets the bunt down. Joseph is going to have to go to first with it. Nice bunt by Gsellman. Not necessarily the direction you want, but he deadened it well. And the 3-4 sacrifice moves the runners along to second and third.
Didn't he get a sacrifice in St. Louis too, Gary?
He did.
So this is number 2 for him. Well done. Got to help yourself.
So now Reyes with an RBI opportunity. Second and third and 1 out. The Phillies have played the infield back up the middle, so they'll concede the tying run on a ground ball. Reyes grounded out to the second baseman his first time up. I think I misspoke. The Phillies will concede a run.
Yes.
Ground ball.
Absolutely. It's too early.
It would be the second Met run as opposed to the none that the Phillies have.
Well, the Mets had a bases loaded opportunity. They only got 1 run out in the first inning.
Backdoor curveball for a strike. 1-1 to Reyes.
And that is Velasquez's, I think, second best pitch. His curveball is a good one, and I don't know why in the first inning he was monkeying around with the changeup.
Well, the Mets have 7 left-hand hitters in the lineup today. At least they did until Cabrera got hurt. Now they have 6. And there's a changeup that misses 2-1.
And there he is pitching behind the count again, Gary. That is a recipe for disaster.
I can only imagine that his increased use of his changeup is in reaction to how hard he's been getting hit lately. 10.47 ERA the last 3 starts. 8 home runs in those 3 starts. Wilmer Flores, who came in when Cabrera got hurt, is on deck for his first at bat of the day. Loney at third, Darno at second. Time call. Against Velasquez, 24 years old, grew up in Southern California. He and Robert Gsellman probably faced each other in high school at some point, right? They're about the same age, same part of the world. I'll have to ask Robert about that. Here's the 2-1, and Reyes fouls back the fastball. 2-2.
96 mile an hour, and that one he kind of put a little extra on it. Reyes, excellent cut.
Reyes started out swinging incredibly well right-handed when he first got back, but now his left-handed at bats have been better as well.
Ooh, the Mets are in their 86 throwbacks. Just noticed.
I mean, that team that only had 1 4-home run game the whole season.
That's right, but 108 wins.
This team's now at 10 4-home run
Oh,
games. Reyes strikes out on the curveball.
That's a good pitch, and that's what he needs to throw. That is a major league curveball, folks. Completely full Jose.
And it's interesting watching Ellis catch that curveball. The first time Ellis has ever caught Velasquez, and he's still learning the break on his pitcher's curveball. He had to kind of track that ball, not really knowing where it was going.
Well, he caught the big lefty in Los Angeles. Kershaw has a big curveball. He's got to familiarize himself, as you said, Gary, to his new pitching staff. I think it took him 1 inning to realize that this guy's got a pretty good hook. He has to know he has a good hook. He's seen Velasquez pitch.
But I mean, you're 35 years old. You're a catcher. You've only been in one organization your entire career, and all of a sudden you're dealing with an entirely different staff, a different environment, different place in the standings. It's got to be a little bit of culture shock for Ellis. Flores fouls it back.
He's throwing hard. He's been getting slaughtered lately because he's lost a little bit of his fastball. He's straight, but if you locate the fastball up and in right there to Wilmer, that is where he needs to pitch, and then that opens up the outside corner for his curveball. Learn command of your fastball first, isn't that it? Then your secondary pitches come second.
And Wilmer fouls off the curveball, and it's 1-2.
There's a hanger right there.
Wilmer scored the only run of this game after pinch running for Cabrera in the first. He's got a 2-out RBI opportunity. Loney at third, Darno at second. Breaking ball outside through the slider that time, and it's 2-2. You know, we mentioned several times Velasquez's recent difficulties, and it really mirrors this entire Phillies starting staff. They've lost some key pieces, Aaron Nola, Zach Eflin, both out for the year, but their rotation ERA in August is 7.26. So they've been really hit hard, not just in this series, but really all month.
And it affects your everyday players too. When you're giving away that many runs, and that means you're down, and there you see the numbers right there, progressively worse. I mean, July had a little bump, but August awful.
They got off to a good start this year, in part because they were pitching well and winning close games. In fact, the Phillies have the best record in 1-run games in the National League. They're 25-16.
But when you got an offense that is 14th in runs, 14th in slugging, 11th in home runs. Ooh, good
on the
pitch.
inside corner, he gets Flores looking, and Velasquez gets himself out of trouble with back-to-back strikeouts of Reyes and Flores. Mets leave 2 in scoring position, still lead 1-0. The MLB.com at Bat app, which includes game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. Road ahead presented by GMC. Marlins come in for 4 games starting tomorrow night, and then the Nats are here for 3 before the Mets head out on the road again, starting in Cincinnati a week from Monday.
Starts to get hairy after this series. Yes, the big boys coming in, the competition.
Mets are a game behind the Marlins in the standings coming into play today. Freddie Galvis leads off. Galvis homered last night for the only Philly run in a 12-1 loss. In fact, he gave the Phillies a brief 1-0 lead before the Mets barrage began. For Galvis, it was his 14th home run of the year, which is double the number he hit last year. Marlins are finishing up their series against San Diego. They split the first 2 games. They came from 4 runs down to win Friday. Lost a 1-0 game last night. They're up 1-0 in the 3rd today. They had to scratch Andrew Cashner from his start today because he has a blister. And the Marlins called up Justin Nicolino to start that game today. They're the wild card standings, which tightened up last night with the Cardinals and Marlins losing and the Mets and Pirates winning. Line to left center field. That's a base hit for Galvis. Cutting it off deep is Granderson. Galvis continues on to second, and he's in with a leadoff double. So the Phillies have their 2nd hit of the day. Galvis' 22nd double of the year.
One with the pitch, Gare. A little bit up, and that's how you attack. Pitch on the outside corner. Try to pull it, you're going to roll it over.
So now Vince Velasquez, who's a pretty good hitter, comes up in a bunting situation. And he bunts toward first, and Loney lets it roll foul. It almost didn't. He had a good idea where Velasquez was, though, and had it stayed fair, he would have picked it up at some point. Velasquez is listed as a switch hitter, but he's only batted right-handed this year.
.216, 8 for 37 with 1 double.
So he's a threat up there with the stick.
Arno thought about throwing behind Galvis, but held on. Velasquez has 2 sacrifice bunts this season. And he gets this one down, and that'll work. Gsellman makes the play. 1-4 on the sacrifice, and Galvis moves to third.
Well, not ideally located, but he deadened it enough and gets the job done.
So now the tying run is on third with 1 out. The Mets will keep their middle infielders back and concede the tying run on a ground ball.
Corners in. You see Loney on the right side on the cut of the grass. Wilmer in enough to make a play at the plate if he has to.
Cesar Hernandez at a base hit his first time up and takes a curveball outside from Gsellman. It's only the second batter of the 10 he's faced that Gsellman has not thrown a first pitch strike. And a bunt, not a suicide squeeze. Gsellman gets the out. Now the throw to the plate by Loney. The tag on Galvis. Double play. Side retired.
Unbelievable.
Some horrible base running by Galvis, and Loney throws him out easily at the plate. It's a 1-3-2 double play to end the inning. Galvis was leaning back toward third and then broke toward the plate, but way too late. And he was out by a mile.
That's a double rock play right there.
That keeps the Mets in the lead 1-0 in the third.
Thank you very much.
Kelly Johnson leads off the last of the third against Vince Velasquez and takes curveball for a strike. Well, a really strange decision making on both parts here.
Well, I don't even know where to begin. I cannot believe this was a safety squeeze. You got a red hot hitter up in Hernandez, and the reaction from Galvis was of surprise because you would come down the line and follow Flores and not go back to third base. And once you go back to third base, you can't go home. So it was a double rock right out of the Flintstones.
Well, explain that a little further, just so you can clarify what you mean.
If it's a safety squeeze and you as the third base runner are told verbally by the third base coach, so you are aware that the drag bunt's coming, the bunt's coming down, you're not breaking on the pitch, but you're aware that it's going to happen. The bunt is down, put down the third base line to draw Wilmer in, and you don't break. You're going to have your eye on Wilmer, and you wouldn't have to break back. So I don't think that was a safety squeeze. I think it caught Galvis by surprise, and then for him to, when he breaks back, then to try to score at strike 3 right there. I mean, a lot went on right there. And for Hernandez, if it's not a safety squeeze, which I doubt it was, with his red-hot bat, that's a poor choice.
Well, it doesn't make any sense if it's not a called play. I mean, the other possibility is it was supposed to be a suicide squeeze and Galvis missed a sign. Is that possible?
It's always a verbal on a squeeze. It's always a verbal from the third base coach.
It just doesn't make any sense. Why would Hernandez bunt if it's not a called play with a runner at third?
Because Hernandez pulled a Fred and Woolmer.
Bam, bam, bam.
Bedrock.
Meanwhile, Velasquez has struck out the last 3 hitters. Jay Bruce had a base hit to right field his first time up today. And then one skips in, ball and a strike.
Boy, oh boy, that was just not a good play by the Phils.
Well, Pete Mackanin, after the loss last night, described his team's performance as embarrassing. Wonder what he thought about that.
I guarantee you he's not happy about it.
Good changeup by Velasquez that time. 1-2 to Bruce. He certainly is using his changeup more than we've seen in the past. For the season, he's used it 12% of the time. It's been more than that today.
He's got an excellent curveball.
This is with the fastball 2-2. Well, Velasquez has been able to squirm out of some jams. Mets had bases loaded, 1 out in the first, managed 1 run. They had second and third and 1 out in the second and didn't score. So Velasquez fortunate to be where he's at, down only 1-0. And Bruce goes down swinging on the fastball. That's 4 consecutive strikeouts for Velasquez. 2 out in the third.
Watch Bruce really uppercut here. It's a lift swing. Ball was right down the middle, and it's just he's looking to lift a home run there, and you're under it.
So 2 out and nobody on. Now Granderson, who drove in the run with a sac fly, and he takes a fastball for a strike.
See, I'm always of the camp, Gary, that as a hitter, as Curtis has the big shift on him in the right side of the infield, if you are in a slump and you're not feeling good at the plate and you're uncomfortable and you have no rhythm, then that's when you can't try to pull the ball, hit home runs. You've got to fight yourself out of this rut you're in, this funk. When you find your rhythm, then you can start unloading.
But with a guy like Bruce, who's never been a high average hitter, he's never been a guy who draws a lot of walks, he is a power hitter. That's been the way he's been defined. Does that change the equation for getting out of the slump?
I don't believe so, Gary. I think it's all relative, and he's up there with no one on base. You're trying to get yourself going again where you can help the ball club. And trust me, it's wearing on Jay. These new uniform, new fans, a team that's in the hunt for the wild card. He's going through a little bit of a living hell right now. But the only way you're going to come out of it is to go up the middle and try to just hit the ball up the middle from gap to gap, hit it where it's pitched, and then find that rhythm again. And once it comes back, because we've all been in slumps. Jay's been in slumps before. He's broken out of slumps.
This ball 4 to Granderson. And the Mets have a 2-out base runner. First walk for Velasquez.
So, that's my feeling is that when you break out of the slump, like we said, when Walker was in the big slump, as Diaz steps up to the plate, I said when he's going to break out, you break out hot. That's when you break out hot, get that rhythm back, then you can start doing the things that you do normally, which Jay was coming here with 27 home runs.
Here's Diaz, who lined out to right his first time up. Granderson at first and 2 out. And that sails high, and that's going to cause Ellis to bring the ball out to Velasquez. Well, all of a sudden it's begun missing up out of the strike zone. It's Velasquez acquired from the Astros in the offseason. That's the deal that sent Ken Giles to Houston. With Velasquez's performance early in the year and Giles struggling, it looked very quickly as though the Phillies had made themselves quite a deal. He was one of 5 players the Phillies got in that trade. And De Aza trying to drop down a bunt.
I've never seen so many attempted drag bunts, and I know it's not supposed to be called a drag bunt, but I grew up with calling it a drag bunt, and I'm not changing.
But it has been a very bunt heavy day.
Yes.
Right from the beginning of the game, the first 3 Philly batters either bunted it or feigned a bunt. I think that John McGraw was in the house. Here's another Philly starter with a high pitch count early in the game. Last night, Jeremy Hellickson had 68 pitches through 3. Here's Velasquez at 64 pitches in the 3rd. And De Aza cracks one to center field. Herrera coming in, and he falls forward to make the catch. Second time De Aza's hit the ball on the button. Second time he's been retired. Keeps it a 1-0 game after 3 at Citi Field. Herrera leads off against Robert Gsellman. So far so good for Gsellman in his first big league start, and he gets a curveball into Herrera. Gsellman's given up leadoff hits in 2 of the first 3 innings, but he got the benefit of a very strange bunt attempt by the Phillies with a runner at 3rd in the 3rd inning to get through it. Herrera, Franco, and Joseph for the Phillies. Skimmed down to 3rd, and Flores has it, and the overhand throw gets Herrera 1 away. Tonight on Jets Nation, get a breakdown of the Giants' Week 3 preseason game against the Giants. They lost. Plus all the latest from training camp on Jets Nation Inside Camp. New episode tonight at 7, only on SNY.
2 weeks, huh? Opening day.
Does it count as a loss when your team is leading when the regulars are in and they lose when the scrubs are in?
Preseason doesn't count.
I guess that's the bottom line, right?
Yes.
Here's Maikel Franco. Takes outside for ball 1. Speaking of football, have you noticed that the Mets pitching staff this year is increasingly made up of offensive guards?
You mean the numbers?
Yeah, pulled through the hole, a base hit for Franco. Third hit against Gsellman. Gsellman is one of 5 Mets pitchers this year who've worn numbers in the 60s. I can't recall anything like this before. Eric Goodell 62, Gabriel Ynoa 63, Josh Edgins 66, Seth Lugo 67, and Gsellman 65.
That can be an offensive line.
They're like hogs.
Ooh, the Redskins.
Right.
By the way, I was at that Super Bowl when the Oakland Raiders beat that Washington Redskin football team. Marcus Allen had the great run. I was sitting with a bunch of Redskin fans. You know, I'm a Raider fan, so I was the only guy in black and silver.
Was that dangerous?
They were all they were nice, but they were all wearing. Remember, they wear the big ground.
Snouts.
They had the snouts. They were all surrounded by snouts and the wigs. It was hilarious.
Joe Jacoby, Mark May.
You have good memory.
George Stark.
You are good.
Who was the center?
Remember John Riggins days, right?
Russ Grimm. That's pulled down the line. A foul ball. 1-2 to Joseph. Joe Boston. That's the center. They bailed me out on that one.
That's when Theismann threw the interception in the end zone.
Jeff Boston.
They tried the trick play, misdirection play, and he threw the ball in the swing pass, and it was picked off right before half, and that was the end of the game. And I started snorting like a pig around those guys.
Tommy Joseph struck out his first time up. 1-2 from Gsellman. It's just off the plate. Slider from Robert. 2-2. That little slider that looks almost like a cutter.
He's got an idea what he's doing out there. You have to when you're not overpowering, and this is not a negative. It's not a criticism. You've got to pitch, and he knows how to pitch.
He certainly throws hard enough. 96 on that last fastball. Gsellman, a 13th round pick by the Mets in 2011 out of high school in L.A. Joseph yanks one. It's grabbed by Flores. The throw back to first. Should have held on to that. But that's the second out. So Joseph hit it hard, going right to Wilmer. And Franco was only about 5 feet off the bag. No reason for Wilmer to throw that ball.
If he would have had an 88 millimeter artillery piece, it wouldn't have doubled him up. That's a double down the line right there. That's big trouble. And Looney does the right thing. He knows he has no play. He backs up. Tries to tell him no.
So 2 out. Franco still at first. And here's Altair. And he fouls back the fastball. Time for our Toyota Twitter poll. You're going to like this, Keith. Which Mets pitcher has the best hair?
Oh.
Syndergaard, DeGrom, Gsellman. By the way, Gsellman says he gets mistaken for DeGrom all the time.
Well, DeGrom has the it's a widespread. His is curly too. A little wavy.
Similar.
Wavy. It's the humidity. It's terrible for the hair.
I mean, Gsellman's got the thicker beard now, so. But
there it is. You can do all that blow drying and that humidity. It's going to make that thing fluff out. You remember, Gare?
Does anybody use a blow dryer anymore? Really? Do guys use blow dryers?
Oh God!
I mean, you know, in the 70s.
I never took to that. I mean,
Joe Pepitone was the first guy with the blow dryer in the clubhouse.
Yes, he was.
In the 60s.
Yep. Joe's quite the character.
He had quite the quaff.
Yes, he did.
Good pitch at the sinker, and it's 2-2. I mean, Joe didn't have long hair. He had big hair.
Yes, he did. He was one of the first ones. And Phil Linz was a bit goofy too, that Yankee team, as they were diminishing and Yankee Mantle was getting older.
2-2 to Altair, and he fights it off. The Padres have gone in front of the Marlins 2-1. That game goes to the 5th. Pittsburgh and Milwaukee underway. Oakland and St. Louis just getting started. Those are the three teams the Mets are chasing. St. Louis, Miami, Pittsburgh. Inside to Altair, 3-2. I guess they're also chasing the Giants, right? Because the Giants are in that #1 wild card spot. The Giants, who had the best record at the All-Star break, are 13-26. The worst record in baseball since the All-Star break.
Find themselves 2 games behind Los Angeles coming into today's action.
Altair fouls off the 3-2 pitch. Well, the Giants got stifled by Foltynewicz and the Braves last night.
Well, Foltynewicz is one of those guys that has a golden arm. It's just his command.
Last night he had it. 7 2/3, 1 run, 5 hits. Runner goes inside, ball 4. There's the first walk of the day given up by Gsellman. Gsellman walked 3 in 3 2/3 innings in his debut, but that was unlike him. In the minor leagues, he averaged less than 2.5 walks per 9 innings. And he has certainly displayed that kind of control today, but now he issues his first walk, and there are 2 men on for Jimmy Paredes. If you're wondering about Gsellman and how far the Mets will go with him, he threw 75 pitches in that relief stint on Tuesday, and he had been starting regularly in Vegas before that, so he's perfectly capable of going 105, 110 pitches. If his performance takes him that far. So now Franco at second, Altair at first with 2 out. Paredes struck out his first time up. Cut by Paredes, 0-1. Right before that pitch was thrown, Reyes, playing shortstop, moved about 4 steps to his left, further behind second base.
Well, what I've seen of Paredes, and I've seen him in 2 series. He played a little bit in the last series here at Citi Field. He's just a dead pull hitter. That's all he wants to do is pull the ball.
Ball and a strike. Paredes takes the slider inside. 2-1. A.J. Ellis would be next. And Gsellman's hardest working inning so far. Good changeup. He gives even on Paredes 2-2.
Got a little help here, chasing a high change, not a strike. Good little late movement away.
Two out, 2 on, 2-2 to Paredes. In the air, deep down the right field line. Bruce toward the corner, and it's off the fence. Franco is in. Altair digging for the plate. Relay by Johnson, and he is out at the plate. Kelly Johnson with a perfect relay, and the second runner of the day for the Phillies is thrown out at the plate. The Phillies tie the game on the double by Paredes as he brings Franco home with the tying run. But Bruce to Johnson to d'Arnaud, and they cut down the go-ahead run to end the inning. And James Loney will lead off for the Mets against Vince Velasquez. Loney had a base hit his first time up. Well, the Phillies able to tie the game in the top of the fourth, but the second bad base running play to have a runner thrown out at the plate.
It's not a bad base running play. It's just lazy, not knowing who your right fielder is. But Bruce does the one thing. A perfect relay throw to Johnson and a perfect throw at home. It was a high fly ball down the line. How is Altair thrown out at home plate with 2 outs? And we're going to show you right here. Keep an eye on him. Not even busting. Now watch it. What is this? What are you doing? That is, to me, a manager. You call him in the office and say, son, you haven't done anything in the big leagues, and you make a bonehead play like that. It's inexcusable. You're going to ride the pine. And look at the bat there. Where's the on-deck hitter?
It's A.J. Ellis, who knows better.
And I've seen umpires, home plate umpires, that are diligent, and if someone makes a mistake, they move the bat. They don't want the bat in the way. So the Phillies are just really smelling this place up.
I just don't understand what Altair was thinking there. First of all, he didn't run hard from first to second, but then as he came around second, he slowed up and looked back over his shoulder. Why would you do that instead of picking up your third base coach?
Well, number one, he was running, so he knew there were 2 outs. So he did not, at the crack of the bat, think there was 1 out. He was on his horse. He wasn't busting to second base. So that tells me he didn't know where the right fielder was. It was a high fly ball he thought was going to be caught. And then he looks over his shoulder because he realizes the crowd noise. What did I do here? And look at Juan Samuel. He's just disgusted after he gets thrown out the plate. Juan's the third base coach right here. They're going to turn around, and now Juan becomes much more urgent to get moving. And this is unacceptable. Watch Juan's reaction. Put his hands on his hips like, geez, what am I watching here? I'm sorry to get on this kid here, but it's just, people make mistakes in the field. But that's just a lack of hustle right there, and that's inexcusable, and that fries me.
Red is almost dropped that ball. That ball hit him right in the heel with a glove, and he's lucky it stuck. That's the first out.
I mean, if you don't want to play, then come tell your manager and we'll play someone else.
Well, as we said earlier, Pete Mackanin called his team's performance yesterday embarrassing. What Larry Bowa is thinking. D'Arnaud takes the curveball inside for ball 1. D'Arnaud hit what should have been a double play ball in the second inning right at the second base bag, but Hernandez booted it for an error. Mets were unable to take advantage, though. Velasquez is settled in now. Looks a lot better than he did earlier in the game. This is with a curveball again. It's 2-0. It's been a rough stretch for Velasquez. Last 3 starts, 0-3, 10.47 ERA. And things got dicey for him early today, but he was able to sidestep trouble and allow just the 1 run in the first inning. That's left 5 runners on base in the first 3. Two and 1 to D'Arnaud. Now 3-1 to D'Arnaud. Velasquez has walked 1, struck out 4, allowed a run on 4 hits. And Travis swings through the fastball, 3-2. The 6th full count already for Velasquez. That's why he's at 77 pitches in the 4th inning.
I mean, this could be a 3-1 Philly lead right now, Gary.
Sure. Foul. That'll come back out of play. SNY Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. Out at the plate twice. Travis has been busy tagging people out. And they were both out by a mile.
A country mile.
Is that longer than an actual mile? A nautical mile? Line to the left field, falling fast, base hit. So Darno with a 1-out single. Well, Yoenis Cespedes is out of the lineup today, and the Mets have been saying all along that he didn't show any signs of the quad being a problem until last night. Well, this was Tuesday in St. Louis.
Yes.
He made that shoestring catch against Stephen Piscotty, and he was banging the quad and flexing it, and then last night scoring on the double by De Aza. And he was in the dugout flexing it again, and that's when Terry Collins said that he realized that Cespedes had an issue again.
So that's going to be an aggravating, excuse me, lingering, stubborn muscle.
Well, you're dealing with Cespedes and that quad that just has not fully healed. Trying to play through it. You've got Walker in his back, and now you have Cabrera coming out of the game again today because of his knee. All recurring issues.
And note that it's his right quad, so he's a right-hand hitter. It's his back leg, his leg you drive off of when you're hitting. So it's not your stride leg. So it's going to be problematic here. He's going to need treatment and play very gingerly.
I guess my question for you as a former player, when you're in this situation, you have these, I guess you'd have to call them nagging injuries, and your team's in a pennant race, how much as a player and how much as a manager do you push at this point to try and play guys even when they have these nagging problems?
Well, the player is always going to say, I can play, I can go. And you have a veteran player out there, he's going to know how to play, but sometimes there's reactionary plays out there that you snap judgment and you can't pull the reins on it. You can do it on the bases. You saw Cespedes, we showed the film of him running home last night. He kind of pulled back a little bit. It's that initial where the ball's hit and you got to react, and your brain just can't think that fast. And I found that a quad, if you're a basketball player, quad's you leap with the quad. That's what the muscle it's used for. It's also when you're first driving off at your calf and your quad. I don't know the extent of how serious it is, but it's a lot of treatment. It's no golf and a lot of treatment.
3-1 to Gsellman, and he bunts a foul. Well, remember that Cespedes first hurt the quad jumping for a ball that came off the wall.
That's how he hurt it. Right, exactly. I tore my quad, Gary, when I was young. I was in my early 20s in Clearwater against the Phillies in a spring training game, and I went home. I healed, and to this day I tore it. I got a big dent in my thigh from that tear.
Gsellman bunts the third strike foul. That's the fifth strikeout for Velasquez, and Gsellman not happy with himself.
So back in my early 20s, Gary, I was playing pickup basketball still, and if I didn't stretch that every day, and I went and played basketball without stretching it, I went to jump, that thing grabbed in a heartbeat and let you know.
So for Terry Collins and his training staff and his players, it's going to be a daily conversation as to, you know, who can play, who needs a day. And you hate to have that when you're trying to make a postseason push, or push toward a possible postseason. And so Reyes takes a strike.
You just hope. I mean, you're playing for a spot in the postseason. You hope for the line drive down the line or in the gap that he doesn't have to go and bust it to make the play. It might cost you. It cost you his re-injuring, or could cost you a game.
Reyes hits a comebacker. Velasquez makes the play, and that retires the side. After 4, Mets and Phils tied at 1. is the total package. During tomorrow's game, SNY's annual Kitcaster winner will be joining us in the booth. This year we welcome 8-year-old and lifelong Met fan James Aronstein. Don't miss his broadcast debut as he helps us call an inning during tomorrow's game right here on SNY. James will be our youngest Kitcaster ever.
Fantastic.
Comes in a long line of very highly polished, well-prepared Kitcasters. Have to go through an extreme vetting process.
Look, that was a cute little kid on his dad's lap drinking water at a ball game. Priceless.
A.J. Ellis leads off the 5th inning. Ellis in his first at bat as a Philly struck out on 3 pitches in the 2nd inning. Lower 3rd of the order against Gsellman in the 5th. And the curveball rolled out to short. And Reyes throws out Ellis, one away. Well, in St. Louis, Chris with a K. Davis hit a 2-run homer in the top of the 1st inning.
How many home runs now for him?
34. Hit it off Jaime Garcia. And the A's out to a early 2-0 lead on the Cardinals. What we have here, Keith, is a whole bunch of flawed teams.
Yes, we do.
Fighting for these wild card spots. And the door is open.
Yes, it is. Who wants to come storming in?
Freddie Galvis double to left center his first time up. And Gsellman quickly ahead of him 0-2.
You gotta like what you're getting from Gsellman today. Here he is in the 5th inning.
Oh, over the head of Galvis, 1-2. Gsellman has allowed a run on 4 hits. He's walked 1, struck out 3. And has acquitted himself just fine in his first big league start. He made an odd little piece of history when he got the win on Tuesday night in St. Louis. Major league debut in relief, come into the 1st inning and get a win. Last time it happened was 1974. John the Count Montefusco in his big league debut. Got a win coming into the 1st inning for the Giants in relief of Ron Bryant.
Ron Bryant, left-hander,
who had the big year in 1973.
120.
24.
That's right. Traded to the Cardinals.
And then 74 with the Giants. Ron Bryant went 3-15.
Right.
Gsellman plays the comebacker and retires Galvis 2-out. Of course, the count was from the Jersey Shore. And he,
I know John well.
As your Verizon trivia question, the only 2 pitchers with 20 or more career wins for the Mets and Phillies.
The only 2 pitchers with 20 career wins.
Dave Fried saying it's easy, Keith.
Okay.
It's Velasquez who sacrificed his first time.
Maybe we can run that.
I mean, the guy who pitched the most for both teams is Tug McGraw, but did he have 20 wins for both teams?
In relief, yes. That's the question. Kuzman went to the Phils.
That's true. Yep. Davis nodding his head. How come Dave always knows the answer?
Because he's got a computer in front of him.
I think it's because he makes up the questions.
Or
at least he assists. 2-2 to Velasquez.
Boy, I remember that first road trip when I was 1970. Well, 75, so it wasn't my first road trip to New York, so it was my first full season as a Cardinal. come into New York on the road trip and you get Seaver, Kuzman, Matlack. It's like, oh my goodness.
Better enjoy the nightlife. 1-2-3 inning for Gsellman, his 4th strikeout. Halfway through, tied at 1. Home 5th inning, Wilmer Flores leads off against Vince Velasquez in a 1-1 game. Flores is 2nd at bat after coming in for the injured Asdrubal Cabrera in the 1st inning. There's your 4th, 5th inning recap. Robert Gsellman has been quite fine in his first big league start. Spraying off against Velasquez, who had a lot of early trouble but allowed just the 1 run in the 1st inning. And the curveball fouled off. Ellis back for a look, but that'll be in the crowd. 1-1. Flores, Johnson, and Bruce for the Mets in the 5th. If you're just joining us, Yoenis Cespedes out of the lineup today, nursing his recurring quad. Hopes to be back in tomorrow. Same for Neil Walker, who has the recurring back issue. And then Cabrera left the game with a recurring knee problem in the 1st inning.
So 3 regulars out of the lineup.
So the Mets trying to patch it together. The Mets have been hitting on all cylinders offensively recently. And that's rifled into the crowd, a foul ball. And, you know, for a team that's been struggling offensively all year, you don't want to lose that kind of momentum. The last 12 games, the Mets have averaged 6.3 runs per game. And how about this? Mets have scored 9 runs in each of the last 3 games. The last 2 here at Citi Field. It's the first time they've ever had back-to-back 9 or more run games at Citi Field. Last time they had back-to-back 9-run games at home was in 2008 at Shea. Kelly Johnson hitting 3rd in the order today, waiting on deck. Then Jay Bruce.
Would this be the first time the Mets have won 3 in a row in a long, long time? Remember, they had a hard time winning 2 in a row here.
Well, they won 3 in a row just the other day. Last 2 in San Francisco.
That's right.
In St.
That's
Louis.
right. That's right.
And now they've done it twice. Won 6 of their last 7. But before that, it had been more than a month and a half.
Right.
One and 2 to Wilmer. And he takes the curveball down. 2-2. Seventh pitch of the at-bat coming up to Flores, leading off the bottom of the fifth. And Wilmer yanks that one foul. Come out to Citi Field Saturday, September 3rd. The Mets play the Nationals for the final fireworks night of 2016, presented by Empire City Casino. After the game, an exciting fireworks show will light up the night sky. For tickets, visit Mets.com/fireworks. It's been a hard-working day already for Velasquez. 94 pitches with nobody out in the fifth inning. Phillies will try and squeeze him through this fifth, but that'll probably be it. 106 pitches his last start. And Flores takes inside, so Wilmer's worked the count full. And it's 8 full counts now for Velasquez. He's only walked 1, struck out 5. 3-2 coming. And Flores gets jammed and fouls it off.
How did he get the barrel out on that one? That ball was a foot inside. Jeez. He missed on the other side of the plate. He saw the catcher set up away.
This is the 10th pitch of the at-bat to Flores. And he foul tips it, strike 3. Velasquez with the slider strikes out Flores, his 6th strikeout.
Good breaking ball here after all those pitches in. He drops a slider on him. Good pitch.
So 1 out. Michael Marriott is up in the bullpen.
Ooh.
Boy, did he have a rough time last night.
I'll say. Showing confidence. He gave up 6 runs yesterday, did he not?
Yes, he did.
He gave up the grand salami to Mr. Johnson.
So he's not coming in to face Kelly today. Kelly's 1 for 2 in this game, singled back in the first inning. And he rolls that one over. Hernandez throws him out, 2 away. So 2 out and nobody on. Jay Bruce coming up. And hey, Steve Gelbs is in the building. How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing well, Gary. How are you guys?
We're good.
All right, good to hear. Now I'll continue with a little report on Jay Bruce, who at this point in time clearly still struggling, but when he is going well, he is doing damage to pitches on the outer half of the plate, something he hasn't done since he's been with the Mets. Yesterday, took the day off, looked at some video, actually found that he had backed away from the plate a couple of inches. So one thing he's really focused on today and moving forward is getting back more on top of the plate. Thinks that could be a reason that he's not doing the same damage with some of those pitches away.
Well, that makes sense to me, Steve. And he still had a little trouble at the outside corner, but if you can't reach that outside corner, you've got to get a little closer.
Had a base hit his first time up today, then struck out in the third, 1 for 2. Jason the high fastball, 1-1. Well, Velasquez up over 100 pitches, looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the day to try and end his afternoon on a high note. And he gets ahead on Bruce, 1-2.
I don't see Jay right now really rotating his hips either. I think that's part of his issue. He's not really getting good hip rotation.
And he strikes out for the second time today. 7 strikeouts for Velasquez, and he has his first 1-2-3 inning. After 5, still tied at 1. Is it a rule if your name is Chris Davis, you have to hit 30 home runs a season? With a C or a K, either way, pretty powerful. Third time around the batting order for Robert Gsellman as he faces Cesar Hernandez leading off in the sixth. It's been a rough day for Hernandez. Made an error in the field and then the inexplicable bunt with a runner at third and one out that led to a double play in the third. And Hernandez strikes out on the curveball. And Gsellman has his fifth strikeout of the day.
Nice curve here. Out of the strike zone. Heading the count.
Now Duel Herrera, who's 0 for 1 in a sacrifice. You know, for most of this year, the Mets used just 6 starting pitchers until Seth Lugo made his first start, and then John Neese, and now Gsellman, and now tomorrow Rafael Montero. And so far, and it's limited returns as Herrera lifts one to left and Granderson gets over to get it. Lugo and Gsellman have both done better than anybody could have anticipated. Neither one of these guys was on the radar to be pitching in the big leagues this year.
It harkens me back to Terry Leach coming in and filling in for us in '87, I believe it was. He won 11 games, won 11-1, I believe. Rick Anderson came in and pitched for us. It became Ron Gardenhire's pitching coach.
John Mitchell. But
Andy and Leach were invaluable. They came in and filled up and plugged the gap.
Well, that year, '87, you guys at
Lost
some
everybody.
point or other lost every one of your starting pitchers.
We lost Coney.
Coney got hurt trying to bunt.
In San Francisco off Atlee Hammaker.
Doc began the year in rehab.
Roger McDowell, right before spring training ended, had to get an emergency appendectomy. Appendicitis, whatever. Is that what it's called? Appendectomy? Yeah, okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Ronnie went down with a broken thumb late in the year.
With in September, early September, was our best pitcher down the stretch. Sid had balky knees and missed a couple starts.
Bobby O.
I'm not sure what happened to Bobby.
He was out for a while too.
Everybody went down. We had Tom Edens out there pitching.
The other Bob Gibson.
Yes. And you know what Frank felt? Frank Ashen, of course. And maybe Dave can look this up and see where we were as far as home runs, Dave, and runs scored. 87 Mets as far as national ranking. Runs scored.
That was a huge offensive year.
Yeah. And so Frank felt he didn't have to go out and make a trade, and brought up the AAA pitchers to plug the hole and figured our offense would carry it. And we did.
That's pretty much the mode the Mets are in right now, relying on Lugo and Gsellman and Montero. 3-2 to Franco, and he drives one toward the gap in right center. Over comes Bruce to get it, and that retires the side. Franco hit that ball hard, but Gsellman's now retired 6 in a row. 6 strong innings from Gsellman, a 1-1 game at Citi Field.
I achieved my goal. I got to the big leagues. I'm a major league ball player.
You know, I called my parents. My mom started crying.
It's been surreal watching him out there. We're hoping that it's a permanent thing.
But then once you get there, you realize I have to work just as hard, if not harder, to stay here because there's a guy back in AAA who wants my job now.
Those are scenes from the next Mets Insider about the Las Vegas shuttle. Check it out. Presented by WB Mason this Sunday. That's today.
Yeah.
The post game only on SNY.
Those are always the nice stories, the late bloomers.
Well, you know, every team has players that go back and forth between the majors and AAA. As David Hernandez takes over the pitching for the Phillies. 6 up, 6 down yesterday for Hernandez. But it is made so much more complicated by the fact that the Mets AAA team is 2,500 miles away.
Yes. I guess we can get Eric Goodell up here to tell us all about it.
Well, in the last week, Eric was with the big club as Granderson strikes out. First out in the 6th. He was with the big club. He was sent down to Vegas. Never actually got to Las Vegas. Went to Tacoma for a day and a half. Came back to join the Mets in St. Louis for one day. Got in the game and was sent down after the game. Went right back to the West Coast to AAA.
I hear you.
Crazy. Here's Alejandro De Aza, who's been up twice. Hit hard line drives to the outfield. Both were caught. And he goes fishing for a curveball. 0-1. Now some guys get lucky. TJ Rivera was sent down on Friday. He never left. And then he was recalled on Saturday. So he never left.
He was lucky.
Yeah.
Well, Hernandez looks sharp again today, excuse me.
Only threw 19 pitches in 2 perfect innings yesterday. Hansel Robles up in the Mets bullpen. And De Aza hooks one foul. Let's answer our Verizon trivia question. I think we already answered this. 2 pitchers with 20 or more wins for the Mets and Phillies. We guessed McGraw and Kuzman.
And we would be right.
It's a lot of wins for a relief pitcher.
Kuzi only got 20 wins for the Phils. So,
you know, Kuzman with the Mets before he left in it was 76 he won 20, and 77 he lost 20.
right. I believe he won his 20th game, Dave Freed, against the St. Louis Cardinals in New York. He was throwing a shutout in the 8th inning, and I hit a solo home run off of him. He got the win. I think it was 4-1. But I cost him a shutout. He got his 20th victory.
It's a good thing he did that late in the game, because otherwise he would have decked you the next time up.
I'm proud of that home run because he was a tough lefty.
Yeah. I bet he was.
I was stunned. I got black cord fever, and there was no cell phones, folks. Got back to the hotel room. I called mom and dad on that one.
You should have. That was a big notch in your belt.
It took Jerry Kuzman deep.
2-2 to De Aza. And the curveball line toward the middle, base hit. So De Aza finally gets a result after his 3rd line drive of the day. A 1-out single.
Well, De Aza really swinging the hot bat. And he chokes up around 2 inches. If you notice, you kids out there.
Keith, I would make the case that Jerry Kuzman is the most underrated player in the history of the New York Mets.
Okay. You would get no argument from me.
I mean, because he pitched in the shadow of Tom Seaver, he never gets the accolades that a lot of the other pitchers do.
It was quite a 1-2 punch, wasn't it? Who were the starting? Was it 4 or 5 in '69?
5. Well,
you had Gentry.
Fifth spot was split. He had Seaver, Kuzin, and Gentry, Ryan, Cardwell, McAndrew.
Don Cardwell. Yes, that's Don Cardwell had a nice career. Very nice career.
Yeah, he was the veteran on that.
Yes, he was. Wasn't Ron Taylor a veteran on that team too?
He was a reliever.
Yep.
Ian McGraw were the primary relievers. Cal Kuntz.
Cal Kuntz. California Angels, Chicago Cubs.
Loney is 1 for 2. He's singled to right and fly to left. And he hits a slow ground ball. Hernandez is going to have to go to first with it. That's the second out as De Aza moves up to second. So now the tie-breaking run at second with 2 out and Travis d'Arnaud coming up. Now Gsellman will come out on deck. But if they walk d'Arnaud intentionally, would you send up a pinch hitter in this spot? Part of the problem is the Mets have a limited bench. They've already used Flores because Cabrera got hurt. Cespedes and Walker were both held out of the lineup because of recurring injuries. That leaves just the 2 Riveras, Rene and TJ, in the dugout. And they are pitching to d'Arnaud.
I say Gsellman hits.
Either way?
Yep. Yes, they're tied up, pitching a good game.
84 pitches through 6 innings for Gsellman, so no reason he can't go another inning. Travis is 1 for 2 today. And he fouls back the fastball and quickly 0-2. d'Arnaud reached on an error in the second, then he singled to left in the 4th. That's after big offensive showings the last 3 days. Just a run on 6 hits today. Hernandez misses outside. Well, Yoenis is around the bat rack. It's a nice ace in the hole. d'Arnaud fouls it away.
Always have the bat handy. If you're a pinch hitter and it's getting that part of the ball game now, 6th inning on, get that bat in your hand. Get your hands used to having the grip around the bat. It's a good thing to do.
He's already got a dramatic pinch hit home run to his credit this year. Remember, he came out of the dugout first pitch.
Yes.
In a big spot.
He's going to pinch hit if he gets a chance to make a move here.
Hernandez ahead on d'Arnaud 1-2. And the breaking ball fouled off. Vince Velasquez threw 103 pitches over 5 innings, allowed 1 run, 5 hits, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Didn't start well for him, but he certainly looked good over the final 3 innings of his stint. Well, the Mets were down 3-0 against the Reds, and Cespedes hit a 3-run homer off Brandon Finnegan to tie that game. On the first pitch he saw as a pinch hitter. That goes to the backstop. It comes right back to Ellis, but his throw is too late, and De Aza is safe at third. That was almost a huge break for the Phillies on that sharp bounce off the bricks behind home plate. But on the wild pitch, De Aza takes third.
Boy, oh boy, did he just choke that one. Nice lead at second base by De Aza. That's why he got there on his toes.
And stayed on the base. Almost fell off. So the tie-breaking run at third with 2 out. d'Arnaud's worked his way back to a 2-2 count. And the slider off the plate, 3-2. Well, Gsellman is standing on deck. Cespedes is sitting in the dugout with a bat and a helmet. It's 3-2 to Darno. And Travis bounces one to short. Nice big hop for Galvis. And he throws him out to end the inning. It stays tied at 1 going to the 7th. Taiwan Tourism Bureau hosted their 12th annual Taiwan Heritage Day at Citi Field, featuring traditional performances and giveaways. For more information, visit gototaiwan.net.
It was like a Christmas carol.
We go to the 7th inning in a 1-1 game. Robert Gsellman in his first major league start has been terrific. He'll face Tommy Joseph to lead off the 7th. Joseph is 0 for 2, and he takes a fastball for a strike. Joseph is struck out and lined out to third. Phillies have run their way out of a couple of innings in the 3rd and the 4th, much to Gsellman's benefit. Joseph takes a fastball for a strike. 0-2. Let's check in with Steve Gelb. Steve?
Gary, we all know that concussions are a bad thing, but one of them may have actually saved Tommy Joseph's career. In May of last season, he was playing in the minor leagues, suffered his 5th concussion. That prompted a series of examinations where a separate issue was actually discovered with Joseph's eyes. He had an eye issue that prevented him from seeing the ball the way a successful player should. It's complicated, but essentially his eyes didn't move like most. They would jump rather than track things smoothly. The best example that Tommy Joseph gave me was that when he was reading, he would often skip over words and never knew why. After that was discovered, started intensive eye rehab, which still continues today. This season obviously hit .347 in AAA before coming up to the majors and smacking that base hit to the right side.
Got it underneath Loney, who turned his glove awkwardly in an attempt to flag it down. And Joseph is aboard to start the 7th.
Ball hit hard. Just late getting on the backhand there, Gary. That's all. The ball's hit too hard.
So that's the 6th hit against Gsellman. And the Phillies have the tie-breaking run at first. Aaron Altair, the batter. Altair flied out in the 2nd. Then he walked in the 4th inning. Ouch. He tried to score from first on a double off the wall by Jimmy Paredes and slowed down on his way home and was thrown out by 20 feet. One of 2 runners thrown out at the plate by the Phillies, and neither one was a close play. Gsellman misses with the sinker, a ball and a strike. Let's keep their bullpen busy behind the rookie right-hander. Robert Gsellman's second major league appearance, his first start, just 23 years old. Barry Blevins, Hansel Robles, both on call. Switch hitting Paredes is on deck. Curveball line to left, a base hit for Altair. And so the Phillies have the first two men on in the seventh.
Hanging breaking ball here. Stayed up and right in the middle. So let's see how Pete Mackanin wants to play this. Paredes hasn't done much. You bunt. Get the bottom end of your order up. You're trying to eke out a win here, avoid a split, or do you go for the big inning?
Well, the other question, of course, is for Terry Collins. How far do you go?
Right.
Pitcher making his first major league start. You've gotten probably more out of him than you could ever hope. How much further do you push him? Dan Worthen's going to go out to the mound to get some temperature readings on Gsellman, so he'll get at least one more batter.
Give him a little breather. Say, come on, collect yourself. Go get this guy. Get a ground ball. Pitcher's best friend right here. Get you out of trouble.
He's given up a couple of hard hit balls to start this seventh inning. Base hits for Joseph and Altair. Last time up, Paredes hit one off the wall in right field. Didn't miss a 3-run homer by much. He drove in the Phillies' only run. As the play, Altair was thrown out at the plate as the back runner. And so the corner's in, thinking that Paredes might be asked to bunt. A.J. Ellis is the on-deck batter. And he's not bunting. And it's a fastball for a strike, 0-1. And now Loney and Flores move a little further back at first and third.
Paredes runs pretty well. Tough guy to double up.
Line to left field. Granderson's not going to get it. It lands for a base hit. Everybody moves up a base, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. So 3 bullets in a row against Gsellman. And all of a sudden, the Phillies are poised to try and take the lead.
Well, Paredes.
It's going to be all for Gsellman.
Absolutely. And finally, Paredes goes the opposite field here.
So after a fine start, Gsellman is going to exit after 6 innings plus, having given up 3 straight hits to start the seventh. Well-deserved applause for Robert Gsellman as he takes his exit. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon. We'll be right back to Citi Field. Series for Hansel Robles.
Well, he came in the first game of this series and had a clean inning. Came in with a runner on second base. It's been a bit of a struggle for him so far, but look at the left-handers compared to right-handers.
And he'll face a right-hand hitter. A.J. Ellis in his Phillies debut has a chance to put his new team in front. He's 0 for 2 today. Bases loaded, nobody out. And Robles gets ahead of him with a fastball. Now the Mets are playing their middle infielders back at double play depth.
Playing everybody back.
And so they'll concede the go-ahead run to try and get 2 outs. Joseph at third, Altair at second, Paredes at first. Ellis has struck out and grounded out in his 2 at-bats against Gsellman. And Robles deals outside 1-1. It's been a rough stretch for Robles, hoping to get back on track with that outing on Friday night. And now in a high leverage spot here in a tie game in the 7th. Gsellman went 6 innings plus, 7 hits, a walk, 5 strikeouts, 94 pitches. Can't win it, could lose it. And Ellis takes it outside. It's 2-1.
This has been Robles' problem, is command. He's in a position now where he's got to come in and he's got to throw a strike here, Gare. This is a very savoring spot to be in if you're the hitter. Savory, excuse me.
1 to savor. And Ellis drives one to left field. That's going to go over Granderson's head and all the way back to the wall. Joseph is in. Altair will score. Paredes to third. A 2-run double for A.J. Ellis in his first game as a Philly. He puts his new team in front 3-1.
Well, he got into a hitter's count, Gare, with the bases loaded. 2-1. Gets a fastball down and down the middle and down in the strike zone.
And he savored it.
Yes. And the Phillies are still in business.
So Robles comes into a high leverage spot and gives up a big hit. Now second and third, still nobody out. The Mets going to walk Galvis intentionally, and Peter Borges has come out on deck to pinch hit. So inning that just got bad could get a whole lot worse. Phillies in front for the first time in this game. 3 straight singles against Gsellman. The 2 runs that have scored in the inning are his responsibility. And now there's ball 3 to Galvis, who doubled earlier in the game and homered last night. So Borges will be coming up, and remember Borges still has tremendous speed, so hard man to double up. Mets will have to play the infield in, already down by 2 runs. And there's ball 4. So the first 5 Phillies have reached base to start this 7th inning. Borges is 1 for 5 in this series. Started the game Friday night, came off the bench for 2 at-bats last night, and the Mets infield comes most of the way in. Paredes at third, Ellis at second, Galvis at first with nobody out, 2 runs already home.
Good slider.
Let's get ahead on Borges. So Robles had a 6-week stretch earlier in the season when he appeared to have turned a corner, but the last 3 weeks have been unkind. Quickly ahead on Borges 0-2. Well, he could certainly use a strikeout here. Cesar Hernandez waiting on deck. 0-2 coming to Borges. And he hits him to force in a run. Borges gets nailed. Paredes comes in to score, and it's 4-1 Philadelphia. And that one hurt. The RBI only eases a little bit of the pain.
Oh, you can see is it a welt on his top of his wrist? Yes, it is.
It's swelling up quickly.
It is swelling up. Yep.
So Robles faces 3 batters, retires none of them. And Terry Collins will take the ball from him as they tend to Borges at first base. Another rough outing for Robles. Blevins coming in. We'll be right back. So he lasted only 5 but allowed only 1 run. Robert Gsellman worked into the 7th, left with 3 runners on base in a tie game. All 3 have come home to score, and the bases remain loaded with nobody out. And Cesar Hernandez the batter against the new Met pitcher Jerry Blevins. So Hernandez turns around about right-handed, which is his stronger side. He's 1 for 3 today. The infield is in. And Hernandez attacks the first pitch fastball and fouls it back.
There are Blevins' Jeep numbers, and you can see the 34 2/3 in 59 games. Don't have to tell you that he is a left-handed specialist, but Terry has had to go to Blevins a little more because of the struggles of Hansel Robles on the right there.
It's funny, both Robles and Blevins have reverse splits. Robles has been more effective against lefties. Blevins has been more effective against righties. In the air to left field, that should get a run in. Granderson having trouble finding it, and now locates it and makes the catch. Tagging is Ellis. He comes in to score the 4th run of the inning. That was almost a disaster, as Granderson had trouble tracking it, but it's a sacrifice fly for Hernandez to make it 5-1 Philadelphia.
Wow, that could have been a disaster, is right. Where is it? There it is.
Begging for assistance from De Aza, who came sprinting over, but probably would have been better if he flipped the glasses down, don't you think? So 4 runs home in the inning. 5-1 Philadelphia. 1 out, 2 on. Here's Odubel Herrera, the 8th man up in the inning. Herrera's 0 for 2 in a sacrifice. Well, the Mets are not alone among the wild card contenders in trailing their game today. The Marlins are down 3-1 in the 8th to San Diego. The Pirates are down 1-0 in the 5th to Milwaukee, and the Cardinals are down 5-2 in the 4th to Oakland. The three teams directly in front of the Mets all trailing as well. Galvis at second, Borges at first with one out. Those were the wild card standings coming into the day. Giants have not yet started their game against Atlanta. Wherever it takes inside, ball one. Strike. Michael Franco waiting on deck. The inning began with 3 straight singles by Joseph, Alter, and Paredes against Gsellman. He left. A.J. Ellis greeted Hansel Robles with a 2-run double. After an intentional walk, Borges was hit by a pitch to force in a run, and Hernandez's sac fly brought in the 4th run of the inning. 1-1 to Herrera, and the curveball swung and missed. 1-2.
Well, this is his big pitch against the lefty. It's a big sweeping hook.
Another curve, and he gets him wheeling at it for strike 3. He can't run to first, which is occupied, and that's the 2nd out of the inning.
Out of the strike zone. That is completely fooled. And the 9th man comes to the plate here.
And Terry Collins is going to make a double switch. He wants to bring in a right-hander to face Michael Franco. So Blevins comes in and gets 2 outs. And Jim Henderson will be coming into the game. TJ Rivera comes on the field as well as the Mets make a double switch. 4 runs home for the Phillies here in the 7th. Henderson will try and get the 3rd out. Moves from third base to first base. T.J. Rivera comes in to play third. He'll bat ninth, and the new pitcher Jim Henderson will hit seventh.
Well, Henderson came in last night, had a clean inning with 1 strikeout.
By far his best outing of the 3 he's had since coming back from the disabled list. He comes in to face Michael Franco with 2 out and 2 on with 4 runs home in the top of the 7th. And Franco takes a fastball for a strike. Earlier this season, when Henderson was pitching well, it was dicey when he worked on back-to-back days. So we'll see how he fares today after having worked an inning last night. Galvis at second, Borges at first with 2 out. Franco 1 for 3 on the day. And he takes the fastball off the plate, 1-1. Tommy Joseph, who started this whole thing for the Phillies, is now on deck. Have used 4 pitchers in this 7th inning. Gsellman started it. Robles didn't retire a batter. Blevins got 2 outs, and now Henderson trying to finish it up. And Franco pops it foul. Held back for a look, but that's out of play. 1-2. Well, tomorrow night the Marlins are in town for a start of a 4-game series. Rafael Montero returns from Double-A to make the start for the Mets against the Marlins ace Jose Fernandez. And there are the city probables for the entire series. We've put Steven Matz in there Wednesday night. That's not yet been announced, but we are figuring that after a successful bullpen session today that Matz will pitch the Wednesday game. But the Mets have to start off by facing the best the Marlins have to offer in Fernandez tomorrow night. 1-2 to Franco, and he fouls it back. As far as Montero is concerned, he made a couple of relief appearances for the Mets early in the year. He went to Triple-A and he was just flat out awful. Bad enough he got sent down to Double-A, and something must have clicked there because his numbers at Binghamton have been very good, and his last 2 starts in Double-A he didn't give up a run. So perhaps the time has come for Rafael Montero. But remember, when he first came up 2 years ago, he was supposed to be a brighter prospect than Jacob deGrom. Didn't work out that way. One-two to Franco, and he strikes him out on a high fastball. So Henderson gets the job done, but not before the Phillies score 4 runs in the 7th inning. Stretch time, 5-1, Mets trail. Kettering Cancer Center with a makeshift lineup today with Cespedes, and Walker out, and Cabrera leaving in the first inning. The Mets have managed just a run on 6 hits, and now trail 5-1 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Fans up and stretching on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Couldn't ask for better weather in late August. Mid-80s, fairly low humidity.
I always remember it in the 80s being hot and steamy here.
Well, we ran a Toyota Twitter poll. Let's give you the results. Which Mets pitcher has the best hair? And a plurality favors the blonde locks of Noah Syndergaard.
I'm in that.
Gsellman finishing a distant third.
I'm in that camp.
Sorry, Jake. Fell a little bit short. Jacob deGrom going to have his start skipped tomorrow night. That's why Montero is joining the rotation for at least one turn. Edobre Ramos comes on to pitch the bottom of the 7th inning for Philadelphia.
There's his numbers. He was recalled on June 24th. He made his major league debut against the Giants. And those are his numbers, and he's here to hold a 4-run lead in the 7th.
Ramos has been doing more of the setup work lately for the Phillies. Jean-Marc Gomez has been very successful as the Phillies closer this year. A lot of people thought Gomez was going to be traded once he established value as a closer, but the Phillies apparently held out for him a little too much, and so he remains, finishing games for Philadelphia. T.J. Rivera will be first up for the Mets in the bottom of the 7th. Rivera came in a double switch in the top of the inning. Rivera was optioned to the minor leagues a couple of days ago and then called back yesterday, but he never left New York, so he saved some frequent flyer miles. Had an at bat in the game last night and struck out his only time up, and he takes a curveball for a strike from Ramos. So David Hernandez is pitcher of record on the long side for the Phillies. He pitched a scoreless 6th inning before the Phillies took the lead. And Rivera takes a slider outside that goes to the backstop, 1-1. Jose Reyes on deck, then Wilmer Flores as the Mets try and fight back in the bottom of the 7th. After today, the Mets will still have 6 more games with the Phillies this season. Rivera pops it up. And the first baseman Joseph comes in to get it. 1 away. Here's a look at the Porsche leaderboard. Highest percentage of runs via the homer. Well, of course, it's the Mets, who last night scored 10 of their 12 runs on home runs. The night before scored 8 of their 9 runs on home runs, and so it goes. No home runs today, and only 1 run for the Mets. So I guess today they've scored 0% of their runs on home runs.
That would be true, Gary.
Only so far. Reyes has gone 0 for 3 after 5 hits in the first 2 games of the series. Edobre Ramos just 23 years old. And Reyes flies one into shallow left center. And on comes Paredes to step in front of Herrera and make the catch for the 2nd out.
Herrera pulls off at the last moment there.
It's a good thing he heard Paredes.
Yes.
Normally a ball the center fielder goes after. So quickly 2 out and nobody on now. Wilmer Flores, who's been up twice and struck out both times. If you weren't with us at the start of the game, Asdrubal Cabrera had a bunt single in the first inning. He collided with the first baseman Tommy Joseph, appeared to hurt his wrist. That's hit hard, and a base hit for Flores. Chased toward the line by Paredes, and will hold Wilmer to a single. So this is Cabrera in the first inning, the bunt single, where he collides with Joseph, jams his wrist into Joseph, but also apparently tweaked his left knee, which has been a concern. You see that left leg come down there. And after he ran slowly from first base to second base, came out of the game. The wrist didn't appear to be a concern, but the knee was. And so it's the third time this year that Cabrera's had to come out because of that knee. And in spring training, he missed 2.5 weeks. Last month, he missed 3 weeks. Hopefully, it won't be anything that's severe this time.
And you cap that with Cespedes with re-aggravation of his quad. And Walker, a re-aggravation of his back, who were not in the lineup today.
Galvis throws out Johnson. That gets Ramos through the bottom of the 7th. On to the 8th we go with the Phillies up 5-1. The 4-run 7th lead the Mets 5-1 as we start the 8th. Jim Henderson, who came on to get the final out of the 7th inning, stays on for the 8th to face Tommy Joseph, who led off the 7th with a base hit. Phillies sent 9 men to the plate. Didn't quite bat around, and they scored 4. Joseph is 1 for 3 on the day, and Henderson comes up and in ball 1. Now the Mets start their series with the Marlins tomorrow night, and the Marlins just lost to San Diego for the 2nd straight day, 3-1. So the Marlins have scored 1 run in their last 2 games. Popped up. Johnson and Reyes, and Johnson takes care of it. 1 out. Let's check in with Doug Williams in the studio for another game break brought to you by the New York State Smokers Quit Line. Remember, Doug, no Aaron Schimpf. Luis Perdomo, a complete game 6 hitter for San Diego today, as he got his 7th win. Here's Aaron Altair, who's 1 for 2 and a walk, and he takes a strike from Henderson. So the Marlins, who started the day a game in front of the Mets in the standings, have lost. The Pirates, who started the day a game in front of the Mets in the standings, have now gone in front of Milwaukee on a couple of 6th inning home runs by John Jaso and Gregory Polanco. So the Pirates, for the moment, a half game in front of Miami. St. Louis is trailing 5-2 to Oakland in the 6th. "32 games after today, plenty of time left. That's a 5th of a season. Fouled back by Altair, and it's 0-2.
You're right, it's a 5th. It seems like it should be more games to be a 5th. It's not. You're right.
A 5th of season. Goes down smooth.
Too much that you can't do it in one day.
Moderation. It's all about moderation. Jimmy Paredes on deck. Altair takes it up and away, 1-2. Well, you have to be impressed with what we saw today from Robert Gsellman, even though his final line won't look very pretty. 4 runs, 7 hits, and 6 innings plus. He certainly looked as though he belonged in his first big league start. And the slider in, called third strike. So Alter's caught looking, and Henderson has retired 3 in a row, 2 by the strikeout.
Very good slider. Gets on top of it, down tilt.
So 2 out and nobody on. Now Paredes, who's 2 for 3 today, drove in a run with a 4th inning double, and then singled and scored in the big 7th inning for the Phillies. Interesting to see the Marlins. It's going to be the first time that we are seeing them with D. Gordon back from suspension. Well, but of course they don't have their 2 boppers, Stanton and Bohr, the big home run hitters, both out hurt.
And for you folks that aren't familiar with Justin Bohr, he's a big, strong left-hand hitter that has got some pop and big power. And with Stanton and Bohr in the lineup, a right-left combination, very formidable, and they're not in the lineup, and it's affecting the much of Miami's offense big time.
Well, what it means in part is that Ichiro Suzuki has to play almost every day, and Ichiro was greatly celebrated, and rightly so, for passing 3,000 hits, but he's 42 years old, and since he's been playing more, his average has plummeted. He was hitting .208 in August coming into today, and he went 0 for 2 in today's game. So he's right around 200 for the month of August. Prado has hit, Yelich has hit, Ozuna has hit, but without those 2 big boppers, they're a little short right now. Hector Neris up in the bullpen for Philadelphia, ready to pitch the bottom of the 8th.
Neris is their bridge, their 8th inning guy.
2-2 to Paredes, and it's low and away. One thing that's gone very well for the Marlins has been their bullpen. With the addition of Fernando Rodney, they lost AJ Ramos for a while with a finger injury, but he's back, and with those 2 and Kyle Barraclough, they're getting some very productive work at the end of games. So it's a fascinating series coming up, particularly with the Mets shorthanded with starting pitching, with Montero going tomorrow and Lugo on Tuesday, and Matt's tentative for Wednesday. Then Colon gets a start Thursday. Marlins have their ace going tomorrow night with Jose Fernandez, and then flip of the coin after that with Kohler and Phelps and Urena. Phelps has actually pitched pretty well since they put him in the rotation. Mets killed him when he was coming out of the bullpen.
Mets always give him a hard time, even when he was a Yankee.
Hit out to center field, chasing it. Deaza back. He gets there and runs it down to retire Paredes. That retires the side. Good outing for Henderson. 4 up and 4 down. Mets still down by 4. down 5-1. Well, if you ever wanted to find a short line at Shake Shack, now may be the time. Maybe the shortest I've ever seen it. Everybody is satiated for the day. Hector Neris has had a terrific year for the Phillies.
Boy, I'll say split finger. Look at the walks, look at the hits, the innings pitched, the strikeouts, the batting averages. That is a solid year.
Jay Bruce leads off the home 8th inning, and that one goes to the backstop. A first pitch splitter from Neris. He throws that splitter 53% of the time. It's a lot.
Yes, it is.
Curtis Granderson, Alejandro De Aza to follow after Bruce, who yanks one down the line, just foul. So far, the Philly bullpen has gotten the job done. David Henderson a scoreless 6th. Edubray Ramos a scoreless 7th. Now Neris in the 8th, and likely Jean-Marc Gomez in the 9th. Bruce is 1 for 3 at a base hit his first time up today. Struck out the next 2, and he goes after the splitter 1 and 2. Josh Smoker, next man up in the Mets bullpen. And Bruce lofts one down the left field line, just foul. Got a double just that way in St. Louis in the last series. And that's when he wound up coming out of the game after his calf cramped up. Missed a game. Came back Friday night, struck out 4 times, sat yesterday, and back in the lineup today. Two. Don't necessarily want to sit behind that hat. Well. And Bruce strikes out on the splitter. So 8 at bats in this series for Bruce. 1 for 8 with 7 strikeouts.
Well, the splitter here, and when you're out in front, it's not a good matchup. Splitter is a devastating off-speed pitch.
Granderson. Curtis has driven in the only Met run today. That came in the first inning. The Mets had chances in the first 2 to put up multiple runs. First inning they had bases loaded and 1 out. They got just the sac fly. And then in the second inning they had 2nd and 3rd and 1 out. But then Vince Velasquez struck out Reyes and Flores, and the Mets really have not threatened since. They got a runner to 3rd with 2 out in the 6th, but Garneau grounded out. Down there he's in front of Granderson 1 and 2. So the Met offense, which has been so high powered the last few days, completely held in check. Roll to the right side. That's Galvis, the shortstop, making the play from the right side for the 2nd out. Shift working to perfection.
Nice spinorama, as you say, Gare. Your terminology.
You can use it. It's not bad, but
it's a very nice.
Alejandro De Aza's had the best at bats today for the Mets. He's hit the ball hard 3 times in a row, 2 line drive outs and a base hit to center. And taking all the way a strike. Pitcher spot due up next for the Mets, and as yet nobody on deck. And De Aza rolls over one. Joseph takes care of it. Strong inning for Neris. He sets the Mets down 1-2-3. On we go to the 9th. Phillies 5, Mets 1. anticipate like that. Although we've been dunked before. SNY Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. Josh Smoker will pitch for the second straight day.
Since his call up, he has been getting a lot of work. Big, strong guy, hard thrower.
He got the final 3 outs last night in the Mets' 12-1 win. A.J. Ellis has the big hit for the Phillies today. A 2-run double in the 7th to put the Phillies in front in his Phillies debut. And he hits the first pitch in the air to left. Granderson over toward the line and gets to it for the first out. And 1 pitch and 1 out for Smoker in the top of the 9th. Mets have used 5 pitchers today. Robert Gsellman left a tie game in the 7th. But 3 inherited runners scored behind him after Hansel Robles failed to retire a batter. Jerry Blevins retired his 2 batters, and Jim Henderson retired his 4. But the Mets held to a run on 7 hits today, and the Phillies with a 5-1 lead. Galvis taking the fastball outside. Emmanuel Burris on deck to pinch hit for Philadelphia, and they've got their closer Jean-Marc Gomez up in the bullpen. Was an unlikely closer this year, but he's had a fine year. And Smoker reports a fastball in for a strike. There's Burris. The Mets the last 3 days scored 10 runs in the last game in St. Louis, and then 9 and 12 in the first 2 games of this series. It was the first time they'd scored 9 or more in 3 straight games since 2012. But those things are hard to maintain. The Mets have only had 1 instance in their history where they've scored 9 or more in 4 straight games, and that came in 2000. They'll try and start another streak tomorrow night, but it's not going to be easy with Jose Fernandez on the other side.
Either way you slice it, it's always hard to get a sweep. And for some reason, I think that one club that's down 2 games, they come a little more prepared, not prepared, just a little more on point. Maybe the other team unconscious, team with the first 2 unconsciously lets down their guard.
Smoker strikes out Galvis for the second out. But when you have one team that's fighting for a postseason berth and another that doesn't, does it change the equation?
It does, and I will look back, Garrett, to that first inning when the Mets had the bases loaded and 1 out and only got 1 run. You know, when you have those second division teams, and the Phillies are in 4th place, entrenched in 4th place, just way ahead of the Braves, who are in last. You got to pound them early and get them out of the game early. At this stage of the season, you can send them on their way.
Phillies will be heading home and playing the Nationals coming up, while the Mets are playing the Marlins. Burris had an at bat last night and flied out to center field. In the bottom of the 9th, the Mets will have 7, 8, and 9 in the order. That's the pitcher spot. D'Arnaud and T.J. Rivera coming up against Jean-Marc Gomez. We'll have a non-save situation. It's pulled foul. 1-2 to Burris. Burris doesn't like the airplanes. Call time with
I wonder
airplane flying over.
With you got to keep 1 foot in the box, though, Garrett.
Is that part of the rule? Are airplanes mentioned in the keep 1 foot in the box rule? Because if you hit a foul ball, you can step out, which Burris is doing now.
There's the one that's making all that racket. So get out of here. See ya.
Well, I must say the air traffic these days around the ballpark is far less than it was when you were playing.
I'll say. What was it? The Dinkins administration that finally got LaGuardia to change their takeoff patterns over Shea Stadium.
But it wasn't for Shea Stadium.
It was for U.S. Open.
The U.S. Open.
Right.
That they finally changed the flight pattern.
Right.
And then it became.
You remember at Shea, they flew right overhead.
Yeah, it benefited the Mets too. Of course, the U.S. Open starts tomorrow, which means traffic around here will get untenable. So if you're coming to the games for the next week, public transportation is greatly advised. Mostly because those tennis folks don't really know where they're going.
When I lived in the city, I used to go all the time. I had two tickets, 2 seats. I used to just take the subway out all the time, which is perfect. 7.
Yep.
Actually, it wasn't the 7. It was the old the D to the C or the C to the I forget what it was. It connected to the 7. No, there was another one though at 53rd. Dave, you're wrong. It was faster.
Well, there's the Long Island Railroad, which goes
not
right to.
No, from Manhattan. When I lived in Manhattan.
Well, from Penn Station.
There was a way I went that was faster than the 7.
Burris strikes out to end the inning. Keith in the subway system when we come back. 5-1 Philadelphia.
Whatever it was, I connected to the 7 at Jackson Heights. The E train, right?
Still the 7. Keith's subway confusion. So you used to go to Roosevelt Avenue on the E or the F, which then connected you to the 7.
Right.
Got you.
And neither the E or the F was the express, and it got you faster to Jackson Heights to get on the 7. Instead of, I lived on 49th, I have to take the 6 to 42nd, then get on the 7.
Unless you get the 7 Express, which skips a lot of stops coming to the ballpark. It runs certain times of the day. Rene Rivera will pinch it, leading off in the bottom of the 9th against the Philly closer Jean-Marc Gomez, and there's a strike. In any event,
yes,
whichever subway, or if you take the Long Island Railroad or one of the local buses, we recommend that between now and the end of the homestand, if you're coming to the game, use one of those rather than driving, because it'll make you happier. a happy experience. You get to commune with many of your fellow Met fans on the way to the game, which I know that Ronnie always enjoys doing.
Ronnie's got the nice weekend off.
He'll be here tomorrow night.
Yeah, he will. Got the sportcaster tomorrow night, the kidcaster.
So Ronnie gets the high chair.
That's
time to reintroduce the hashtag Let Ronnie Sit.
How does Ronnie get the high chair when the 8-year-old kid gets the low chair? Shouldn't the 8-year-old kid get the high chair?
It's an interesting point you make. Two and two to Rivera. Travis d'Arnaud on deck, and then TJ Rivera. So it's a 2 Rivera inning for the Mets in the bottom of the 9th. Do they have a rally in them? Gomez had never been a closer in his life before this season. 34 saves and 38 opportunities. This is a non-save chance, and he misses outside the Rene. 3 and 2. Philly bullpen has been terrific so far. Hernandez, Ramos, Neris, each pitched a scoreless inning.
Here comes a "Let's go Met" chant.
There's been a whole bunch to cheer about today. Mets got a run in the first, and very little good has happened since. 3-2 from Gomez to Rivera. And Rene hits one to the right side. Joseph plays that spinning ball and makes the play for the first out. Coming up tonight on Geico Sports Night at 10:30. We have baseball news. We have football news. We have Nelson Figueroa returning to Taiwan, where he was a big star. All on Geico Sports Night tonight at 10:30. Nelson threw out the first pitch today.
Saw that. And had a nice toss.
He was wearing his Taiwan hat. It was a little bit high. You know, Nelson's a guy who needed to work down in the strike zone.
Still had some good running movement into the right-hand hitter.
Travis d'Arnaud is 1 for 3 today. Gomez, sinker ball pitcher. Started out with the Indians, then the Pirates, now in his 2nd year with the Phillies. And he's behind on d'Arnaud, 2-0. David Hernandez is the pitcher of record for the Phillies. Robert Gsellman on the hook for the Mets. And now 3-0 to d'Arnaud. Philly pitchers have only walked 1 today. That was the starter Velasquez. He walked Granderson in the 3rd. TJ Rivera on deck. Reyes behind him if anybody gets on. And Travis takes a strike. 3-1. To d'Arnaud, and Travis flies one to deep left center field, but Herrera has room on the warning track. 2 out. So the Mets are down to their final out with TJ Rivera coming up. Rivera popped up in the 7th inning and is only at bat today. Barring a rally, the Mets will lose for just the 2nd time in their last 8 games and start a 4-game series against the Marlins here tomorrow night. The Marlins losing today, Mets will likely start that series a game behind Miami, one of the 3 teams in front of them as they try and fight their way back into the wild card. Gomez fallen behind all 3 hitters in this inning. Cardinals are fighting back against the A's. They were down 5-1. It's now 5-4 in the 7th. Miami's already lost their game. Pittsburgh leads Milwaukee 2-1 in the 8th. There's a strike. 2-1 to Rivera. And that's away, and now it's 3-1.
Squeezed him there a little bit. He thought he had a strike.
Reyes hoping for a turn. Right down the middle, 3-2.
No, one thing Gomez does, he can pour in a strike when he falls behind.
That's the 11th full count for Philly pitchers in this game. They've only walked one. Struck out 9. (3-2) to Rivera, and it's grounded right to Galvis. And that'll do it. A 1-2-3 inning for Jean-Marc Gomez, and the Phillies salvage the finale of the series. They score 4 runs in the 7th inning, spoiling the first big league start for Robert Gsellman, as the Mets offense lacking Cespedes and Walker, and for most of the day Cabrera falls flat, and the Phillies win it 5-1.
But nevertheless, you still take 2 out of 3 at home against the second division Phils. It's a disappointment you can't get a sweep. They're hard to come by, but you got to give the Phillies a little bit of credit here. That big 4-run 7th. And you said it, Garrett. Gsellman, I thought, pitched a nice ball game, 6+ innings. His numbers will not be good in the paper tomorrow with 4 earned runs, but didn't get any relief help from Robles, who still continues to struggle. So the Phillies get a game here, and the Mets, will see how it affects the Mets in the wild card when the day's action ends.
And we'll see how Cabrera is, and how Cespedes is, and how Walker is, and whether any of them are available for the game tomorrow night. Game summary presented by the Kia Top Quality Sales Event. Gsellman takes the loss in his first big league start. Mets now 2 games over 500, and for the moment 3 games off the pace in the National League wildcard race. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Tri Honda. Hurry to your local Tri Honda dealer for great deals on the 2016 models. By New York Lottery, take a break from the expected, play scratch-off games from the New York Lottery. By Geico, the #1 insurer in the New York market. By Bob's Discount Furniture, shop in store or online at mybobs.com. And by the Lincoln Summer Invitation Sales Event, get exceptional limited time offers on a Lincoln of your choice. Final score this afternoon, the Phillies 5 and the Mets 1. Tomorrow night, the Mets open a 4-game series at home against the Marlins, and their ace Jose Fernandez. Rafael Montero makes his first start of the year for New York. Coverage begins at 6 o'clock tomorrow night, right here on SNY. Now for Keith Hernandez, Steve Gelbs, and our entire SNY crew, I'm Gary Cohen at Citi Field. Time for WB Mason post-game live. Let's join Doug Williams and Jim Duquette in the studio. Guys?